You've probably heard people say that waking up earlier, multitasking more, or crafting the perfect morning routine is the secret to success. On the surface, it all sounds productive and inspiring. But here's the truth. Some of the most common productivity advice is quietly draining your energy, stealing your focus, and eating away hours of your week without you even noticing. And the price isn't just wasted time, it's a loss of motivation, clarity, and a real sense of control over your day. That's why in this video, I'm going to break down the 5 so-called time-saving tips that actually do the opposite. By the end, you'll know exactly how to replace them with strategies that truly give you back your hours and your energy. And just so it's clear, this is for education only, it's not medical or psychological advice. Everything you're about to hear comes straight from behavioral science, cognitive psychology, and timeless principles that have been tested over decades, not just another trendy hustle culture hack. Here's the roadmap for what's ahead first. We'll talk about how to stop wasting focus on fake productivity traps. Then, we'll uncover 5 bad tips you've probably heard before and show you what actually works instead. And finally, I'll share a few simple shifts that can help you reclaim your time without burning out. One of the biggest myths about productivity is the idea that multitasking makes you efficient. You've probably heard the advice, do multiple things at once and you'll get more done. But the truth is, it doesn't actually work that way. The human brain can't focus on 2 demanding tasks at the same time. What feels like multitasking is really just task switching your attention bouncing back and forth, which creates mental friction. In fact, research shows that this constant switching can cost you up to 40% of your productive time, which means nearly half of your effort is wasted. The better approach is single tasking, using deliberate focus blocks to protect your attention. A simple method is the 50 to 10 rule: spend 50 minutes in deep, uninterrupted work, followed by a 10-minute break to recharge. Think of your attention like currency. Every switch you make is like paying a transaction fee, and little by little, you end up leaking focus. Just make sure you don't confuse background activities, like listening to music or walking, with multitasking. They don't demand the same level of attention. A quick fix you can use right away is to pause before you begin and ask yourself, what's the one thing that matters most right now? Remember, discipline is nothing more than remembering what you truly want. Another common trap is the belief that over-planning will save you time. The advice usually goes, the more detailed your plan, the smoother your day will be. But in reality, it often backfires. Over-planning creates friction, and instead of working, people end up spending more time perfecting their to-do lists than actually acting on them. Research on decision fatigue shows that constantly making tiny micro-decisions drains willpower and leaves you mentally exhausted. A better approach is to follow the rule of 3. Each day, simply write down your top 3 priorities and focus only on those. This prevents the paralysis that comes from overthinking and overloading. Picture your day like a backpack. If you stuff it with too much, you'll struggle to move. Just be careful not to treat your list as a wish list. It should be a focus list. A fast fix is to grab a sticky note each morning, write your top 3 tasks, and carry that with you, nothing else. A confused mind delays, a clear mind delivers. Another piece of misleading advice is the idea that endless note-taking will organize your mind. The saying goes, write everything down, build systems, and organize every detail. But here's the problem. Productivity collapses when capturing replaces creating. Constantly cataloging information drains mental energy while producing little to no outcome. Psychologist John Sweller's cognitive load theory, 1988, shows that too much input overwhelms working memory and makes it harder to actually get things done. A smarter approach is to capture ideas quickly, then shift into action. Capture essentials quickly. Avoid over-organizing. Think of it like a library that never lends out books. Nice shelves, but useless in practice. Notes without action work the same way. Avoid the trap of building elaborate productivity systems as a way to procrastinate. Instead, use a fast fix at the end of each day. Choose one note you've written and act on it immediately. Notes don't create value, action does. Another overhyped idea is that long morning routines guarantee success. You've probably heard advice like, win the morning with a 2-hour ritual of meditation, journaling, cold showers, and 10 different habits. It sounds impressive, but for most people, it's completely unrealistic. A 2020 survey from the Sleep Foundation found that most adults already struggle just to get 7 hours of sleep. Adding an exhausting checklist first thing in the morning only creates guilt loops when you can't keep up. A better approach is to build a minimum viable routine, just 20 to 30 minutes, with 3 simple essentials: hydrate, move, and plan. Think of it as a launch pad, not a marathon. Planes don't taxi around for hours, they take off. The mistake to avoid is copying celebrity routines that look glamorous but don't fit your actual life. A fast fix is simple: pick one energizer, like stretching, walking, or breath work. Add one planner by writing down your top 3 priorities. And finish with one primer, such as hydrating. That's it, you're set for the day. Routines should serve you, not enslave you. The final trap is the habit of checking emails and notifications first thing in the morning. The advice sounds logical. Clear your inbox right away and you'll feel more in control. But what actually happens is the opposite. Starting the day this way flips your brain into reactive mode, making you respond to everyone else's priorities before your own. Notifications reliably disrupt attention and can raise stress. Stick to behavioral evidence. And the worst part is you're using your freshest mental energy on tasks that don't move your goals forward. A far better approach is to schedule 1 or 2 windows later in the day for communication, and instead begin your morning with your most important task. Think of your early focus like a handful of gold coins you don't want to give them away at the door. Be careful not to fall into the trap of quick checks that spiral into 45 wasted minutes. A fast fix is simple. Put your phone in another room until your first priority is finished. Guard the gates of your attention like a scarce resource. Now that we've uncovered the traps, let's shift into practical tools you can actually use. These are timeless frameworks that work for anyone, no matter your lifestyle or schedule. First is the 2-minute rule. Popularized by David Allen back in 2001, if a task takes less than 2 minutes, just do it immediately instead of letting it pile up. Next is energy scheduling, which simply means aligning your most demanding work with your peak energy times and saving lighter tasks for when your energy dips. Then there's the keystone habit check anchor, one strong habit like quality sleep, regular exercise, or daily planning, and watch how it cascades into other positive behaviors automatically. Finally, use a reset ritual, a 60-second pause where you breathe, stretch, and refocus between tasks. This prevents carryover fatigue and helps you show up fresh for what's next. Of course, even with the best tools, real life isn't perfect. Motivation dips, procrastination creeps in, and sometimes we slip into old habits. The biggest mistake people make is waiting until next Monday, or the perfect moment to restart. Instead, apply the 24-hour reset rule. If you fall off track, reset within a single day. Progress doesn't come from flawless streaks, it comes from fast recoveries. Before we wrap up, let's hit a quick mini FAQ. First, do you really have to wake up at 5 a.m. to be successful? Absolutely not. What matters is protecting your best energy hours, no matter when they occur. Second, isn't multitasking efficient if you're good at it? The answer is still no, you're not multitasking, you're just switching faster, and that burns through your energy even quicker. And finally, how do you recover from burnout? Start with subtraction. Cut out the energy drains first, and then slowly add back restorative habits that rebuild your energy. Let's quickly recap everything in a simple 1-page plan. Stop multitasking and focus on just one thing at a time. Stop overplanning and stick to the rule of 3 priorities. Stop endless note-taking, capture what matters, then act. Stop building long morning rituals and instead create a minimum viable routine. And stop starting your mornings in reactive mode. Guard your attention like it's gold. To stay consistent, use the 2-minute rule, energy scheduling, and the 24-hour reset. Remember, it's the small corrections you make daily that add up to real control over your time. If this video helped you save time, drop a comment sharing the productivity myth you've fallen for, and make sure to subscribe for more timeless strategies to work smarter, not harder. Productivity isn't about speed, it's about direction. Guard your attention and your time